Hi everyone, I'm Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on making scrap quilts. I love scrap quilts, and personally I've been making them for about 10 years or so. They're so much fun to me, and I really have a passion for them. When I got started, I really had some struggles, and there's some things I wish I would have known and understood. These are also my opinions. There are so many different ways to make quilts, and there are so many different techniques, and there's things that people do and people don't do. This is just how I approach it, and some things that I hope I can share with you and help you in your process. For me, there are 2 types of scrap quilts. One is everything goes scrap quilt, where you can put whatever fabrics together and it looks wonderful. For me, I really enjoy making what I call controlled scrap quilts. Now, this term controlled scrap quilts, I know I didn't invent it. Somebody out there did. It's probably something I learned maybe, I don't know, 20 years ago. So I wish I could give credit to that person. But a controlled scrap quilt is where you have some sort of rule or control in the scrap process. And this is the type of scrap quilt I'm going to discuss today and give you some tips on. First of all, Daisy is here wanting to say hi and to probably go out. You want to say hi, Daisy? Can you look? I don't know if I can get her head turned around. So I'm going to take her out. I'll be right back to share that with you. I apologize for the interruption. I'm back in and ready to talk about my tips for making scrap quilts. The first one is to pick a pattern that is tried and true. A traditional pattern, in my opinion, works best, especially if you're just getting started working with scrap quilts. I have a book that I always refer to. I bought it, I don't know, years and years ago. It's this one. I love, love, love this book. This is available used on Amazon. It is a little spendy, but it really is worth it. There's a ton of tips in here, and it's a great resource, especially when you're just getting started thinking about how you want to design your scrap quilt. Love this one. You can even see I have the pages, you know, like post-its on them because I love it so much. There's also other scrap quilt books out there, but you can also find just traditional patterns that work really well. You can build a block that's tried and true and have some peace of mind, get it? Quilting. That will allow you to be successful with the scrap quilt, at least in my opinion. Okay, I touched on the second tip in the introduction there, but I'm going to say it again. Set a rule for the scrap quilt that you're going to make, and I'm going to show you some examples. For this quilt, which I have a tutorial on, I set the rule of a beige background. You can see that here. Even though there's many different fabrics involved in the beige, it is still a beige background. I also chose to pick a color palette that was very fall-like, so I had maroons, reds, greens, all of those wonderful, beautiful fall colors. And it really gives a nice look to this quilt, in my opinion at least. And as you can see, again, it's a traditional pattern and it is cohesive, but still scrappy. The next one has a different rule. It is my rainbow quilt. And you can see my rule here is different blocks with different color families, and then the layout, which gives you this wonderful rainbow effect. There's no real place for your eye to rest, however, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Another quilt that I made, and again, this one has a tutorial on it. Oh, by the way, the rainbow one does not have a tutorial on it, but this one has a tutorial on it too. This is the Christmas scrappy quilt that I made as a challenge with Fallon from Soviet Quilts. We decided to challenge ourselves to spend as little as possible on making a quilt, and this is what I came up with. Now for this one, I actually purchased the sashing strips because I wanted that cohesiveness and I didn't have enough of that exact green. And this allows it to look still scrappy, but also cohesive and unified because of that sashing strip. So there's many ways to do a controlled scrappy quilt. Think about it. It gives you a landing place. It gives you something solid to hold on to, and in my opinion, helps you make successful scrap quilts. Creating this cohesiveness, you can use different tools. There's the 3-in-1, which I always talk about in my videos. I love this tool. There's also the color wheel, which are great, and it allows you to, I don't know, get unstuck if you have any problems with color. Another great tool, and I don't know how to say this word, I don't know how to say this website, but I think it's Cooler. I'll put it up here on the screen. This is an awesome website, especially if you're looking for a color palette, because you can just click the space bar and it keeps giving you different color palettes and generating wonderful combinations that are great. And you can take that also to your scraps and pull colors that go with that, making a cohesive look as well. And then the third tip, since we are talking about color, is understanding volume, value, tones, all of that wonderful stuff we talk about when you're doing color theory. This makes a big difference. Karen Brown has a wonderful series on this. It's fantastic. So check that out. And I just want to show you my very first scrap quilt that I made, and I took a class. That's another way to really get good at scrap quilts, is to take classes on. Let me go grab it. This was a class that I took at my local quilt guild. Quilt guild's a great place to take classes. Make sure you belong to one because it's a fantastic resource. And I didn't really understand tone and value until I took this class. There are scraps in here from my stash, but honestly, a lot of it is from a charm pack. So I just took what was left over from a charm pack and actually, I think it was a layer cake, but whatever, and made this quilt and I added to it. And that's also another great way to make a scrap quilt. Just add to something you already have that kind of is cohesive and it allows you to get more colors in that colorway. So this is a great one. I'll show it to you here in a black and white. You can see I did pretty good with my color value, making sure I had lights, mediums, and darks. This to me does make the quilt because it does look, in my opinion, cohesive. And even though there's other scraps in there that go along with the layer cake that I use, it still goes. And it just, I don't know, creates a really cool effect. It's one of my favorites, mostly because I learned so much from this class and it just got me off and running when I finally realized exactly how to understand value in fabrics. I think that value is critical for making scrap quilts. That's my opinion. Not everybody will agree. But at least for controlled scrap quilts, it's the way to go. My fourth tip is to really, really look at scrap quilts that you like, whether it be on Pinterest or on websites or at quilt shows, or if you have friends that make scrap quilts, just check out the quilts that they make and see what it is. What is that special sauce that makes them work? This is so important because really understanding what you like and what you don't like in scrap quilts will make all the difference as well. So explore, see what is out there, see what inspires you, and really learn from those quilts that are already available. And my last tip, although I have tons more, let me know if you want more because I have tons. I made an entire list. I think I had like 14 things on it, but I wanted to keep this video nice and short and cohesive and helpful so you can get started making a scrap quilt. Give fabrics a friend. So when you're making a scrap quilt, it's a good idea to have a fabric in one place and then that same fabric somewhere else. It adds to the cohesiveness, makes it unified, and in my opinion, makes it really look good. This is especially true when you have one of those fabrics that is weird and you're not sure what to do with it. If you give it a friend somewhere else in the quilt, it doesn't look as weird, it looks intentional. So using up those weird scraps too, and you know what I'm talking about, like the weird fabrics that you're not sure what to do with, works if you also give it a friend. This idea of giving it a friend came from Fons and Porter. This again is not my idea. This is something that's been out there forever, as most quilting ideas, I think. I hope these tips helped you. I hope my little mini trunk show of the different quilts that I've made using scraps also helped you. And I hope you enjoy your scrappy journey. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you take some time to sew, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.